The sun was setting over the small town of Dry Creek, casting long shadows across the dusty streets. The locals called it a ghost town, for it had seen better days, back when the silver mine flourished. Now it was just a speck on the map, a place where folks lived quietly, sharing their history with reverent whispers. Jed Collins, the weathered sheriff, rode into town on his old, reliable horse, Bess. He had been out on the plains, chasing a rumor about cattle thieves near Mason's Ridge, but as usual, the rumors were just whispers on the wind, and he returned empty-handed, his thoughts heavy with the burdens of maintaining peace. As he tied Bess up outside the saloon, he noticed a stranger, tall and wearing a dusty black coat, stepping off the stagecoach that groaned under the desert sun. The sound of it rattling had drawn a small crowd, curious about new arrivals. It wasn't often that Dry Creek saw newcomers, and even less frequent were those who stuck around. The stranger's name was Eli Thorne. He carried himself with an air of mystery that piqued the interest of the townsfolk. His eyes, sharp and observant, scanned the meager surroundings and then met Jed's steady gaze. "Sheriff," he nodded curtly, his voice tinged with an Eastern accent. Eli made his way to Sally's Inn, the only guest house in town, dragging a heavy leather trunk that seemed to hold more stories than all the books in the schoolhouse's tiny library. As the days turned to weeks, Eli's presence in Dry Creek stirred a mix of suspicion and curiosity among the residents. He spent his days wandering the hills, often peering into the abandoned silver mine or jotting down notes in a dog-eared notebook. One evening, as orange hues gave way to indigo, Sheriff Jed found Eli at the edge of town, gazing at the sunset. Something about the man's solitude struck a chord in Jed's own heart, filled with its private regrets and unspoken dreams. He decided it was time to understand this enigmatic figure. "Mind if I join you, Mr. Thorne?" Jed asked, his boots crunching the dry soil. "Not at all, Sheriff. I reckon I owe you some explanations," Eli said, without looking away from the horizon. As the stars began to dot the sky, Eli shared his story. He was a writer from New York, that drawn westward not by gold or land, but by tales of the old frontier. He sought the true spirit of the West, hidden beneath layers of myth and faded by time. Dry Creek, with its ghostly legends and weathered souls, was his chosen muse. Touched by the sincerity in Eli's voice, Jed found himself sharing his own stories, of love lost and the fragile peace he aimed to protect. They spoke long into the night, finding camaraderie in their shared loneliness and search for meaning in the wild, open spaces. The following months brought a subtle transformation to Dry Creek. Energized by Eli's curiosity and armed with tales told by Jed, the townspeople began to take pride in their heritage. Eli's writings, serialized in a popular East Coast newspaper, drew gentle fame to the town. Soon, historians and tourists eager for a taste of the true West began to visit. As for Eli and Jed, their friendship flourished amidst the renewed spirit of the community. Though they came from different worlds, they had found common ground under the vast, unjudging sky of Dry Creek. Years later, long after Eli returned to New York and Jed had passed on his badge to a younger lawman, the story of their friendship remained, etched into the soul of Dry Creek. A tale of two wanderers who found a piece of home among the echoes of the past. In a forgotten town that had remembered its glory,